think? Not bad, huh?
It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Still a construction site, as you can hear and see, but they've done an unbelievable job. I mean, this has been a record build, I think, in terms of how quickly. I was here for groundbreaking, 14 months ago. Everything that needs to be done is done. The cafeteria, the locker room, the players are in the gym at the moment. The fields look immaculate. So there's still a few minor things. They're working still in the academy offices and in some of the academy locker rooms. But I mean, as you guys can see, it's pretty well along, and the players are obviously excited to be here.
What's this day feel like? Up to this point, it's been so on paper, so conceptual. Does it feel more real today?
Yeah, I think there's been a few emotional moments, I think. I mean, I joined this organization 15 months ago, Right to Dream, and there's been so much and so many people to thank, I think, since that moment. But just to get to here is already special, but now is when the real work starts. Now we get to actually see the players on the grass. I've looked at them on whiteboard for so long. So now it's about trying to find those last pieces and seeing now the staff in motion. I think it's been phenomenal to have the staff all together in this facility, but now is a time where they can go out and make their money on the pitch, which is what we're really excited to have.
What goes through your head to be your age, the youngest in that role in MLS, and to be entrusted with an expansion franchise like this?
I'm getting older every day. I'm getting more grays every single day, especially in this project. But look, it's a credit to Tom, to leadership, to ownership. They've obviously put a lot of pressure on me, but I enjoy it. I think that's why we work in this field, and as much as I can pay that back to them and get the right people in house. It was funny, I was talking to Fleming Pedersen from Right to Dream yesterday. He's the technical director, and he was like, "Oh, you seem calm." I said, yeah, that means I hired good people, because if you hire good people and let them do their job, I think I'm just in a role where I need to make sure that everything is operating in a good capacity. But I think we've done that. I think we've got a lot of really good people and a lot of really good players and professionals here.
So just to add to the pile, you decided to schedule a wedding in the middle of all this.
Yeah, I got married. Nothing changed there. I just got this ring. That's all I took from it. But we said goodbye at the airport the other day. But she's been texting me, asking me how everything is. It's good to have a wife like that, because she's like, okay, you had all these individual player meetings. What one was the best? What one was the worst? So it's good to have somebody, and she helps me in this job, because obviously her profession is at the highest in her field, and so we try to continue to grow each other.
Does she jokingly, unofficially, be trying to be a technical advisor for you at this point?
I think so. She gives me a lot of advice, and I take it, because she's done quite a bit with her career. So if we can have half the amount of success that she had, we'll be one of the most successful clubs in the world.
Tyler, obviously a couple new players signed since the last time we spoke to you. I want to ask about Anis Saidi, a 16-year-old from the Union. What can you tell us about him? How do you feel like he'll fit in? He's in the preseason roster.
Yeah, he's in the gym at the moment. Unbelievable person, first and foremost. He knows where he's at in his career. We tracked him. I joked with him when we did our individual meeting. We saw him 14 months ago at MLS Next Fest in Phoenix, and all of our scouts obviously were sat around. That field was packed because Kevin Sullivan was playing, but one of our scouts from our head of scouting from Africa said that's the player. So we're ecstatic to be able to get a player of his caliber. We know he has a lot of growth to do, but he'll be here. We have no plans to loan him. We have a plan for him. He'll be integrated with our international academy at times, but he'll be within the first team, and we're excited to see what he has.
And I wanted to ask, what, compared to other expansion teams, what are some advantages or disadvantages you feel like this club has faced during the time coming up to the season now?
I think the advantages are for sure the backing of Right to Dream. I think we have a football philosophy, and we have an idea of how we want to play and how we want to build a roster. That was extremely helpful, I think, in the whole process. Another advantage is where we are in the world. I think that's an advantage and a disadvantage. It's an advantage because we have this unbelievable facility. It's a disadvantage because of the tax rate and everything else that comes with it, and that's challenging whenever you're having conversations with some of these players, especially outside of Europe. But I think we're really happy with where we're at currently, but there's still a ton of work to do. There's not only a ton of work to do on the facility, but there's also a ton of work to do in terms of just finding those final pieces, and then obviously making it all to come together and how we want to play.
Talking about where we are in the region, you just kind of mentioned that, the Cholos on both the men's and women's side, you have the Wave team in addition to the Soccers. What does it mean to finally add an MLS team here in San Diego for the larger region between San Diego and Tijuana?
I'm not from here. I have no ties to here, but it's special to me, so I can only imagine what it's like to everybody from this region. I had a chance to talk to Sammy Kanan, who's obviously here, one of the players that we drafted, who's obviously here on trial, and I just asked him, I said, did you ever think this would happen? And he's like, no, I never expected anything to this capacity. I think, look, there's been tremendous amounts of success here from a footballing standpoint, but just the investment from ownership, the facility, and everything that comes with it, I think we've got a lot of people that are really excited. And we also know that we have a big task at hand, and that's obviously to come and make them proud. And we know we need to do that early and often. So excited to obviously continue to connect with the community. It was awesome to have the supporters out yesterday to see the backing, but we need to continue to build on that and make sure that obviously we can prove it now.
And this facility is very unique for multiple reasons. What are you kind of hoping this maybe could lead to for soccer in the region or for SDFC?
I think it's the field of dreams, right? I mean, you look at this valley where we are, the mountain backdrop. I mean, it's amazing coming to work every morning. With the Sycuan tribe obviously allowing us to be on here, the blessing the other day was amazing. That's again goes back to our commitment from ownership group. But we want to be a staple here. We want this to not only be a place for us, but a home for national teams to come and visit whenever they're here. We want to show this place off. I think it's exciting. It's an exciting place, but it's also in an unbelievable part of the world.
Speaking of showing it off, will there be opportunities for fans and the public to come down here and check it all out?
Yeah, I think that's in the plan. To have, we obviously had something like 200 supporters out here yesterday. Some of the supporters group, the ability to obviously say hi to our players for the first time, I think that was really important, and we'll for sure find opportunities to do that because we'll be an open door policy here. Whenever clubs want to come and visit, we'll obviously open our doors and show them how we work because we think that's our way to only continue to advance ourselves and learn from each other.
And how will the academy, how will it fit in working here in this facility?
I mean, this will be the home to it. That'll obviously won't happen until August, whenever they move in. But we'll make the selection of players starting in April. So there's a lot of exciting events coming up there that we're excited to get the first group of players here. But I think that will be another wow moment. We have had a couple wow moments. We had day one whenever they came into the medicals. Today's another wow moment, the first day on the field. But really to then have those little kids with those dreams from this community come here as well, that will be another one, I think, whenever that first crop gets announced.
What were the details of that Sycuan blessing?
Just they obviously it's their land, and I think they do that for all of their kind of new openings and new beginnings. And so they came and obviously blessed it with sage smoke and did some of their rituals. They did some dancing and some singing. It was we brought some of the local members and community here, and it was fantastic to see because again I've been to a couple of those events, and every time they do it, it's exciting because obviously it goes back. Their history is second to none in this community, and so to have them here was fantastic.
What's a reasonable expectation in year one, in your mind?
We're here to compete. We've said multiple times we for sure want to be in the playoffs. We're building a roster we think that will allow us to get there, and then it's the rest of it's let's see what happens. I think after that point, we want to come and compete. We want to come and play our football, but we also know that it's difficult and there'll be challenges. But we need to fight through those, obviously, and we have enough quality and investment where we think we can do that.
Seeing all the players come together now, are you optimistic of how the season will play out, or are there a few pieces missing still?
I got to see them on the field first. So today's and this week obviously is a big week, but we still have a few pieces. I think there's still 3 to 5 players that we'll bring in. Obviously, we made another announcement today in Oni, and we think that he'll bring a lot to our team here in 2025. But there are still a few pieces. We're still probably missing a right winger. We're still probably missing another midfielder, another right back, and probably another center back. So those are kind of our key priorities right now. But we'd like to see the team. So maybe it's not going to come in the next couple of days, but over the coming weeks, I think you'll see a few more announcements.